Hey, it's me, System Key Dev. I've been working on this in Gamemaker Studios. It is a fully interactable world within Gamemaker, and if you know anything about Gamemaker 3D and it only being one core available, no multi-threading, you'll be shitting your pants right now. I mean, honestly, you might understand, you might see these dev textures and be like, I know who you are. I know what you are, but any real game developer right now in Gamemaker Studios would be seeing this and being like, damn, what have I been doing for the last 5 years of my life? But anyways, so it's fully height mappable. You know, I'm optimizing because you can only work with one thread on Gamemaker, and there's so many optimizations I've been making. Funny enough, I thought that I was actually just stupid and I was just writing bad code, but I was running on integrated graphics this whole time. This is running on a laptop's integrated graphics at 100 frames per second, fully changeable. I mean, there's some like tear and stuff where you can see it like loading, but yeah, if you were a game developer in Gamemaker Studios right now and not like the 3 people I respect who I'll list off on the screen, but I don't know how to say the names, shout out one of them. If you're seeing the grass textures, you probably know who he is already. Dude's a G. It's not possible without him. But yeah, this is my developer demo. Let's go ahead and show you what exactly this little demo can get you. It's pretty well optimized. It's doing a lot of 2D, faux 3D tricks to do this, but let's see this. So I think the best place to start would be the humble beginnings of where this project started and how unoptimized it was. So let's go ahead and turn down the chunks and the height distance and go ahead and start loading in everything one at a time instead of meshed together, because, you know, I wasn't thinking about that to begin with. And we'll go ahead and run this. It's probably going to be really bad, but it'll give you a sense of what I started with whenever we got to begin with. Because, you know, Gamemaker's not meant for this. It's not meant for 3D. So, trying to load in every single texture by itself, not possible. Give or take, I'm still doing some, yeah, like if I look behind me, I'm still doing some, you know, culling, but yeah, this ain't gonna work. So, how do we get past this? Oh yeah, you can also see another optimization I did right here whenever I combined all the textures into one page. That was a G1. It boosted my FPS about 30 frames per second. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at another version of this, more well optimized, where I'm combining the meshes into one mesh instead of just rendering everything one by one, because 15 frames per second, what is this? So then I decided to start combining block meshes together. So this is a 1D map, so it should be more performant than the 3D one. But this is whenever I'm blocking together, say trees with trees, grass with grass. I'm only running at about 70 frames per second right now, combining those two together. It was a kind of a good optimization, boosted up my frames a lot. But the real one is this next one, where instead I combined all the texture meshes into one, and then I run them all into one mesh whenever we're loading a chunk. So then that leaves me, sorry, we're loading right now. I am not doing anything optimized with RAM and loading, but so yeah, see, look, we're going at about 140 frames per second. This is whenever I combined all the texture maps into one, and then I'm loading them all into one mesh as static objects. So this is a great optimization. Brilliant, love it. Boosts the FPS so much. So let's look at the maximum things for this game engine, because this is all procedural too. This isn't just one object. Let's bump up this height map to see what this baby can do. Alrighty, I'm in the world now. We're gonna bump up the height map to, let's do a multiple, you know, a power of 2. So that'd be what, 128? And then let's booster, baby. So whenever we're working with taller blocks, it's less performant. Oh my god, I'm also rendering in a 32 block. Alright, whatever. So the biggest hitch of this whole thing that I got going right now is going to be loading everything into RAM beforehand. I need to start using the Perlian noise right and loading stuff on the fly and like saving. But right now, so this is, you can see the remnants of my 2D fulcrum culling. So you heard that right. It took me like an hour of convincing Jimmy to let me do that, and eventually I just had to like show Jimmy the code and be like, this is how you do it, please listen to me next time. But as you can see, the upper limits of this are crazy. It's not 3D. It's not, because at the end of the day, we're just working with height maps. But say you could probably stack 2 height maps under each other and have a, you know, have a little bit of a 2D map. I just love how it's like Minecraft mixed with these 3D textures, this backwoods stuff. It's amazing. So let's do 512 and see what happens this time. Yep, we're gonna sit here and watch it load. It actually loads kind of fast depending on what you're doing. I could make it more performant if I got rid of all the trees and all the other 3D models, but heck, why would I do that? And this wouldn't be a demo if I was being a, you know, shy with my code, which is not good. So I'm going to be back whenever I climb to the top of this, because that's probably going to take a while. Alright, now that we're at the top, you can see just the most purest Perlian noise you've ever seen in your life, and some clipping, because it goes all the way down there and then up there. So yeah, these are actually rendered on the fly, and people are gonna shit on AI, but like, I was straight up like, didn't want to have to look at how to like make these vertex buffers to render this. Because if you know anything about Gamemaker 3D, it's all vertex buffers, and if I'm rendering this on the fly through the engine, I'm just asking AI to fucking write me a function. Like, you know, shit on me all you want, but that's pretty fucking good. I mean, it took about an hour whenever I was just bullying the AI. Jimmy finally, like, gave me what I needed. But it's, I mean, just for small stuff like that, I mean, it took me about an hour. Probably would have took me about 3 to 4 hours if I actually tried to do it myself. So, yeah, not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm surely one of them. Look at this pure Perlian noise. Beautiful. 16 is the way to go. So we're going to ramp this up to the higher aspects of rendering out further. This takes a while to render, so you're gonna sit here with me while we render this so you can see exactly how long it takes to build this out into RAM. So it's been about 2 minutes now since it's loaded and we're frozen up. The memory is still going up. So I think that it's still loading, but it says that it's ready. So sooner or later that window's going to open. If I include a link to this, please do not run it unless you have about 10 gigabytes of memory to spare. Okay, we're finally calculating the rails. Let's go. So we run this consistently about 30 frames per second whenever we have this big of a world going. Don't know why, but let's do a little walkthrough of the whole world to show you just how big it can be. Alrighty, so we're finally reaching the end of the map because the, you know, naturally generated structures are stopping. I think maybe. Yeah, that looks like the end of the map because the FPS is getting better. Towards the end of the map, the FPS gets pretty good. Pretty good. We're at the end of the map. So anyways, yeah, if I were you and I was a Gamemaker developer, I'd be shitting my pants right now because, like, you know, this is impressive. If you're one of the 3 people I respect, please hit me up because I need your help. This is very hard to do, and I need to talk to you in person. If you want to hire me, trust me, I'm hard to work with and I'm expensive, but like, hit me up. Anyways, this was the craziest Gamemaker demo you've probably ever seen in your life, and you'll ever see. But yeah, hit me up, you know, on the line down low. Oh my God, look at that! It was at 220 fucking. It was at 20. It was at 20. It was maxed out.